The narcissistic international man of mystery, Julian Assange, is in the news again. Sweden has dropped the charges against him, and of course, Mr. Assange says that means he was completely innocent, and he's basically Nelson Mandela, and he deserves to be worshipped. While the Swedish authorities are saying dropping the charges does not mean he's innocent, it just means it makes no sense for Sweden to continue this charade, as this is going nowhere and is eating up a sizable portion of Sweden's budget. Now, of course, I have a story here from the London Guardian. This was one important court appearance. Julian Assange extradition live coverage from 2011. Man, that was a long time ago. And Assange had just changed his legal team. Of course, Assange paid the most expensive lawyers he could possibly get. Some of them said they weren't really paid properly, but Assange kept adding new high-profile, super expensive lawyers, paid for by the donations to WikiLeaks. So people donated to WikiLeaks, thinking this money was going to be used for important leaks and saving the world and all that, but no, this money was used for Assange's sex case. Now, the new, at the time, lawyer of Assange, Ben Emmerson, said the following. The appellant, Mr. Assange's physical advances were initially welcomed, but then it felt awkward since he was rough and impatient. They lay down in bed. The woman, only identified as AA, was lying on her back and Assange was on top of her. AA felt that Assange wanted to insert his penis into her vagina directly, which she did not want, since he was not wearing a condom. She did not articulate this. Instead, she therefore tried to turn her hips and squeeze her legs together in order to avoid a penetration. Miss AA tried several times to reach for a condom, which Assange had stopped her from doing by holding her arms and bending her legs open and trying to penetrate her with his penis without using a condom. Miss AA says that she felt about to cry since she was held down and could not reach a condom and felt this could end badly. This is what Assange's own lawyer said, Mr. Ben high-priced, who knows how many dollars per hour, Emmerson. Story goes on here, but crucially, Ben Emmerson said there was no lack of consent sufficient for the unlawful coercion allegation, because after a while, Assange asked what Miss AA was doing and why she was squeezing her legs together. AA told him that she wanted him to put a condom on before he entered her. Assange let go of AA's arms and put on a condom, which Miss AA found her. So, Assange was basically so dumb that he didn't really understand what it means if a woman tries to fight you off. And then, of course, there's this whole thing about breaking the condom, maybe intentionally breaking the condom, which is a pretty low thing that many men apparently do. So there's consent for sex with a condom, but somebody breaks the condom. That's of course a pretty mean trick, and it's dangerous. Assange's lawyer Ben Emmerson said they fell asleep and she woke up by his penetrating her. She immediately asked if he was wearing anything. He answered, "You," meaning I'm wearing you. She said, "You better not have HIV." He said, "Of course not." She may have been upset, but she clearly consented to the sexual encounter's continuation, and that is a central consideration. He ripped her clothes and at one point ripped her necklace. Emmerson tells the court about Assange and the other alleged victim, known as AA. The alleged victim is convinced Assange broke the condom by the glands and then continued to ejaculation, Emmerson says of AA's statement. So, let's just leave the legal crap out of this for a second, okay? All this mumbo-jumbo of this was technically not rape, and, this was, we didn't see the documents and the charges here and the technicalities there. Let's just forget all this legal mumbo jumbo for a while. It doesn't paint a very good picture of Mr. Assange. And even Laura Poitras, the documentary woman who wanted to do a gushing film about Assange, even she thinks she changed her opinion about him. At first she thought, well, his treatment of women and his opinions and that sort of thing, his personality, that's just a side story. That's just not the main story. But then she changed her opinion and said, no, it is the main story. Friends and foes, a lot of friends, former friends have described him without really understanding what the term means or the what's in the medical handbooks. They describe Assange as somebody with a narcissistic personality, and that's very, very dangerous for the entire WikiLeaks saga and what it could mean. So, Assange will always blame others. He will always try to get publicity out of everything, and he certainly tried his best to get publicity out of this. And we've been covering Mr. Assange in the past on this channel. I ask you to watch those videos and to view him from a neutral standpoint. Right? We all love a great hero, but this is much more complicated. So the New York Times now says the rape inquiry is dropped, but his legal problems remain daunting. So if he leaves the embassy, he might get arrested by the Brits because he skipped his bail conditions by entering the embassy years ago. Then, of course, America might extradite him. They might put him on trial. But that's not even all of it. And of course, the New York Times is not giving you a full picture here. Neither does the so-called alternative media, because alternative media usually wants to do clickbait and say whatever the audience wants to hear. The audience likes a great hero, and they want to believe in Assange, even though there's so much evidence against him. His working for the Australian police in the past, him getting off easy, that's kind of the hallmark of a snitch. He got off easy despite serious hacking, and there was some circumstantial evidence he might have been working for the American or Western military-industrial complex. And his missing years, what did he do? Did he spy on the alternative scene, on the hacker scene, which would have been Australia's #1 strategy after busting him and his early hackers in the 90s. Of course, you would love to turn them into your agents, into your spies, to tackle the ever-growing problems of hacking. There's just lots of clickbait out there. So everybody wants a sensation. Everybody wants the clicks on YouTube because that used to get you money. So people put up videos that were basically hot air, saying Assange was killed by the CIA. Assange was killed by Pamela Anderson with a vegan sandwich. Assange is this and that. It was just all horseshit. It was all garbage. There was no evidence to any of this, no serious evidence. Assange was just sitting in the embassy, doing what he always did, waiting and waiting and waiting and blowing money. And, then, of course, there's the question of, is he entangled with the Russians? But he might also be entangled with Western intelligence agencies. He might be a double. He might be working for Western agencies and then entangling himself with the Russians, so to make the Russians look even worse than they already look. This could be an elaborate ruse, and we have to at least consider these possibilities and view these possibilities beside each other, and not just focus on two scenarios, meaning Assange the ever-loving hero or Assange the Russian agent or whatever. There's more scenarios here. There's a lot more going on here. And Assange's mysterious past, people didn't know him before 2010. And he did important leaks before that, but he wasn't busted for it for some reason. And the FBI even had a spy within WikiLeaks. This one young guy, and apparently, according to reports, this spy from the FBI stole multiple hard drives worth of evidence. So this could be used in a future court case against Assange. So we don't even know what the FBI has, and the Trump administration is keeping very quiet, very low-key on this. Of course, during the campaign, Trump said, "Oh, he loves Trump because Trump said he loves Assange because Assange exposed the Democrats with these hacked emails." But now, of course, it's a different situation. We don't know what the FBI has on Assange, and also we just saw the source, the WikiLeaks source, most likely source, Bradley Manning, now known as Chelsea Manning, released from prison early after just 7 years instead of 35 years. So this was partially done, well, to set an example, you know, the solitary confinement and all these hidden methods of torture against Chelsea Manning, but also to show that the empire, the US, is grateful if the accused roll over and sell out other people. So that could have been what happened. So it's an interesting timing. Sweden drops the rape charges. America releases Chelsea Manning, and now we might see Assange being brought to the US. But we will only see that happen. Big court case in the US. We'll only see that happen if the case is watertight. If the FBI has all the stuff, if they have all the Chelsea Manning info. And we even saw that when Chelsea Bradley Manning got busted, when she trusted a snitchy guy in the hacker scene, this Adrian Lamo guy who has connections to, you know, this weird FBI sub-project, Vigilance, or whatever that name was. It could have been entirely private, but linked. I don't remember that in all of its detail. I reported about it at the time. So at the time, Bradley Manning confided in Adrian Lamo because Adrian Lamo has gone through a somewhat similar thing. But Lamo reported him, Bradley Manning, to the authorities, and of course they seized all the chat logs. In the chat logs, there was word about this crazy white-haired Australian that I'm uploading to, and stuff about helping me, and some fast lane way of uploading the stolen stuff to WikiLeaks. So it was not the usual, regular, slow, electronic mailbox. It was rather a fast-track way of uploading the stolen stuff. And so, yeah, well, maybe the US government has all the evidence they need, maybe not for the big charges that have been discussed all this time. You know, the espionage charges and whatever, and stuff that probably wouldn't stick in court. So they may not bust him for that, but they can bust him for all kinds of things. You know, putting together 10 felonies or whatever, you know, a felony here, a felony there, felony here, felony there. And so taking revenge and jailing this guy and destroying, of course, his nimbus first, destroying him in court, reducing him to a ball of patheticness when he has to admit, yes, I did that, yes, I did this, yes, I did that, and the newspapers are going to be full of quotes from chat logs saved on these stolen hard drives from the FBI, and stuff that the FBI stole from WikiLeaks. So it's not just WikiLeaks stealing from other people, it's the FBI stealing from WikiLeaks, and this stuff is going to be all over the media, and they're going to ruin Assange's, the myth of Assange, and then they're going to put him into prison, maybe. Or Assange might escape to Russia. I mean, it's been said that he might go to Ecuador. because he spends so much time in the Ecuadorian embassy, but Ecuador cannot really protect him. It has to be the Russians, it has to be China, something like that. And of course, if Assange does that, running to Russia, that would make him look even more like a Russian agent. And so this could do incredible damage to whistleblowing in the West in general. This could do incredible damage to alternative media and leaking secrets. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So to everybody out there, if you're doing media yourself, or if you're just taking part in a large discussion without a bigger platform, please watch the other stuff on this channel about Assange. Please do not get into a tunnel view and a confirmation bias like some people are doing right now, because they just want to clickbait. They just want the attention. They want to get some of the Assange limelight and present themselves as warriors of truth and everything that's good, even though the actual Assange is a narcissist and is a very, very, very sleazy, dangerous man, and he's done quite some damage so far and could do some more damage, and we don't really know who he's working for. And all these YouTubers out there, even the big guys, they don't really know who Assange is working for. They just hope that they just hope that they can exploit this topic to their own end and gain attention and positive attention over all this. But nobody really dares to do an accurate analysis of Assange, because that would neither please a mainstream audience nor an so-called alternative audience. So we'll see how this all plays out, and we'll keep you updated on this. Please support us on Patreon with the link below, and share this video, like us, and comment.